Tonight on News Night, lawyer Martin Kpebu and Office of Special Prosecutor clash over conflict of interest and corruption allegations.
As for freedom of speech, everybody has it. So when he talks about incompetence, he himself, what is the competence? We must separate the head of the agency from the agency. People think that the office is all about Honorable Kissi Agyebeng. No.
Plus, the IMF's verdict on the OSP, as it says, OSP has no clear, consistent systems to decide when cases are ready for court. We hear from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Also tonight, lecture halls in colleges across the country empty as members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana begin an indefinite strike, citing the government's failure to fully implement the National Labour Commission's arbitral award issued in May.
It is very disturbing. We are worried. We will all receive the communique this morning. So if nothing positive happens this week, we advise our members to rather go back homes and wait until the whole issues or the strike is called off.
Also tonight, government gives its surest assurance yet of ending the 2 long years to ratify Ghana's first lithium project before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
The direct benefits to someone like me who hawks in traffic is that some of the lithium project workers will need food and they will come and buy my
stumbling block. Unless something unforeseen happens, I don't see why we should not be able to.
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it will be ratified. It will be ratified. Yeah, it will be ratified. If the processes are currently ongoing and Parliament has its own timetable and schedule, as far as I know, there is no major stumbling block.
In business, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiamen says the economy has been decisively turned around based on current data.
And in sports, Ghana Football Association charges Asante Kotoko for insightful social media comment.
I'll take your views and comments across our social media platforms. The WhatsApp number in particular is 055-1111-997. Details after this.
Abeg, fix me go betete Ghana. No garri, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no.
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, if you get your own data and call packages, falla! Made For Me bundles like the way you want them. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, I sleep.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302-681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No matter the ride you love to steer, be it a truck, bus, private car, trotro, tricycles, or even generators and heavy-duty plants, it deserves Solnox Eco first. Solnox Eco works with both petrol and diesel, keeps your engine running smooth, improves fuel economy, and repairs are less, gives better performance and nothing less. Solnox Eco protects your car while keeping the environment clean. Plus, it's super affordable. When you hear Solnox Eco Advanced Fuel Conditioner, it's to drive more and spend less. Solnox first, fuel after, that's the magic to move. Cleaner engines, better mileage, fewer repairs. For bulk purchase, contact Nationwide Technologies on 025-611-7589 or 025-611-7588. Solnox Eco. Drive more, spend less.
Now
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
And you're still live here on News 90s on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has clashed with renowned lawyer Martin Kpebu as he accused the Special Prosecutor Kissi Agyebeng of corruption and conflict of interest in a public Q&A session on X hosted by the OSP's Director of Strategy, Research and Communications, Sam Edako. He clarified that the law mandates the office to investigate corruption related complaints, regardless of who is involved. He explained that the lawyer Martin Kpebu's allegations directly accused the OSP of conniving with former Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta to stall his prosecution and further accuse the Special Prosecutor personally of corruption. Now, this has further pitched the two, that is the Special Prosecutor, his office, and Martin Kpebu pitched the two against each other. After the Special Prosecutor's office claimed that Martin Kpebu has refused to honor an invitation to show up at his offices to aid further investigations. Well, we've been hearing the last few minutes from Martin Kpebu, who is categorically disputing those claims. But first, I will bring you the back and forth about this matter pretty shortly. But first, listen to Mensah South MP Boafo, who first raised issues of conflict of interest with the office investigating itself on the same matter on PM Express.
Firstly, I would disagree on many fronts with my brother. Okay. The OSP cannot investigate himself. The SP, that is the Special Prosecutor, he's the head of the OSP. And so if you have allegations against him, the forum to resolve those allegations certainly would not be the office of the OSP. And tactically it's even not good, because presenting those evidence to him, right, by submitting yourself to him, you are submitting it to his jurisdiction, you are agreeing that he should resolve those matters. What if at the end of the day, he rubbishes every allegation you have made? You wouldn't have gotten justice. But that said, even if you scrutinize what my brother is saying, I don't think that there's sufficient evidence on the basis of what he's saying to remove the Special Prosecutor, unless you want to do the Tokonu kind of removal. Right. Otherwise, there's no basis.
Well, but the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the OSP, Sam Edako, stresses that Mr. Agyebeng himself, as the Special Prosecutor, has no involvement in investigative processes or the committee set up to examine the matter.
We are a law enforcement agency and a prosecutorial body, bound by law to do our work. We are to investigate as a primary investigator of corruption and corruption-related offences in Ghana. The office is not investigating any other matter except corruption allegation. He said that the office has connived with Ken Ofori-Atta, not that he has deduced, not that he thinks if you put one or two together. He made categorical statement. And he made specific allegation that the Special Prosecutor is corrupt and things that he had done. And once we are the body that has to investigate corruption, naturally, to build trust and credibility in the system, we would invite you. The office will go into it. Now, when the office is going to it, we must separate the head of the agency from the agency. People think that the office is all about, say, Honorable Kissi Agyebeng. No. It's a whole institution. There was this propaganda that had gone on, and especially his first appearance, he had said several things which were untrue, but the office thought it was not necessary. Don't give it too much attention, ignore it, and so we decided not to even respond to it. But the office, if he would tell you, when he went there, he didn't see Kissi Agyebeng as part of the process. Even the letter inviting him, it was not signed by Kissi Agyebeng, nor even the deputy. So there is nothing like Kissi Agyebeng involved in this process. It's a special team that has been set up to go into allegations of corruption. And some people have said that it will mean being a judge in your own court. And I'm like, let me give you a typical example. So someone makes allegations against the Vice Chancellor of University of Ghana. You think that they will go and call UPSA to come and sit down and go into it? Allegations have been made in the fire service against the head of the fire service. They will go and call immigration to come and look into it. No, the institution with the primary duty would have to go into it because they are not the final determinant of the facts that they will bring out. If the OSP was the one going to pronounce guilt and all that, then we would understand the issue about conflict and all that. Yes, it is true that it's the head that the allegation has been made against, but it's also true that it's not the head that is doing the investigation.
Well, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is also brushing off accusations of incompetence from Martin Kpebu. In another response, the OSP spokesperson, Samid Dako, says the office is unperturbed, arguing that Martin lacks the moral grounds to question the competence of the office.
And this is a matter that we've shied away to want to talk about it because you also don't want to give people too much attention when they don't really need it. As for freedom of speech, everybody has it. So when he talks about incompetence, it's not a subject that will even bother anyone at the Office of the Special Prosecutor because he himself, what is the competence? You remember he's had the opportunity to work on ORA and all that, and we have seen the outcome that said that half of the things were just rumors and all that. So, to be honest with you, incompetence has never been a reason why the OSP would invite Martin Kpebu. The office is not investigating any other matter except corruption allegation. So when he came and raised specific allegations that he did not want a particular investigator to be part of it, the OSP obliged him and invited him to come, I think on Friday. Even on Friday, he did not pick his calls. The whole of Friday, Mr. Kpebu did not pick his call, although messages have been gone to him and he had picked and said and talked undertone that he was at a program. They called him almost 15 times on Friday. He didn't show up. And now a new invite has gone to him to report on Tuesday. So what matters is the due process. We are giving him all the chance to be able to convince Ghanaians that the special prosecutor is corrupt as he is alleged, to show Ghanaians that indeed, the special prosecutor of the office has connived with Mr. Furiata for him not to come together. That's all the office is doing. So at the end of the day, there is clarity.
Well, also on the special prosecutor and other anti-corruption agencies in Ghana today, the IMF has a report out that I will be detailing for you pretty shortly. But I've just been joined on the line by Samid Dako. You just heard the Director, Strategy Research and Communications at the OSP. Joins us on the line. Samid, thanks for your time here on Newsnight.
Yes, Evans, thank you very much. But let me make a little clarity. I know that you said yesterday the OSP did a second Q&A session on X Space, formerly Twitter. So we are a public agency that engages the public, I think twice a year, where we allow people to ask us questions. So everything you have played is because someone asked us a question about Mr. Kpebu. As we have said, ordinarily, this is not a subject we even think or talk about. But because someone in the audience asked us a specific question that we are investigating Mr. Kpebu because he said the SP is incompetent. And I had only clarified that if it was incompetence tag, then there was no need for the office to go into the matter. So the only reason why the office is going to the matter, it has nothing to do with his public commentary on incompetence, but it has everything to do with allegations of corruption, which falls under the OSP. So I just wanted to make that clear so that it doesn't appear as if the office was responding to Martin Kpebu. No, it was out of a Q&A session on Twitter that someone asked that question that we needed to clarify.
In that clip we just played from the exchange, you made a point that last week you tried to reach him several times, he didn't show, and that you sent another invitation. Have you heard from him since?
I don't know. I've not found out about it. Like I said, this is not a matter that we should make it topical for Ghanaians. This is exactly what he wanted. The office is not going to give him that. The office is focused on his work, and the work of the office is always to investigate allegations of corruption, be it against a member of the office or against a member outside the office. That's our primary duty. And when we do that, it doesn't mean we are judges in our own cause. It simply means that we have the mandate to do that. When allegations are made against police officers, it's the police that investigated, even if it's against the IGP. Because at the end of the day, they are not the ones that are going to determine the final case. If it so happens that he's able to substantiate and again, let's be clear, Ghanaians, we are not looking into his wild talk about whether the OSP is incompetent, he must resign. That's not what the OSP is interested in. The OSP is only interested in allegations of corruption. And those ones are why a special team is looking into it. And like we said, there were several things he said. Even when he came to the office, I'm told at the reception, when you go to any institution, even I was at Joy last week, when you come there, the reception may ask you, how many are you? So I'm told at the reception, they asked him, how many are they? And he said he had come with 2 people. And then he goes and say on TV3, and a lot of his enablers were running around saying that OSP had questioned him. In fact, they even said Kissi had questioned him about how many lawyers he's bringing there. And I thought that this is so low blow. How do you even do that as a lawyer? Anywhere you go, they will give you the opportunity and ask you, oh, how many people are you coming with? Because remember, at the reception, they don't know anything we are doing inside the office. They only are to take care of visitors. So if they ask you how many people you are coming with, then you go and say the OSP were questioning you about how many lawyers you are coming with and trying to make this work. That's why I said that let's not give that too much attention to this. Let's rather focus on the very important job of ensuring that, you see, the bad guys enjoy all this and they promote all this because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are going to enjoy. Once you have anti-corruption body having to also deal with a lot of unnecessary matters in the public domain and then distraction, attention taking off, that's what the bad guys want. And I'm sure they are happy wherever they are. And so let's focus on the real job, Evans.
Thankfully, we can bring in Martin Kpebu just to clarify the subject of when he is going to submit himself again to the OSP to finalize the investigations that were started, I believe, last week. Martin, as is being said, the invitation went out to you last week. You didn't show, is what the OSP says. A second invitation has come to you. Have you received the second invitation, and when will you avail yourself?
Yeah, Evans. Hello?
Martin, I hear you.
Yeah. The next invitation is tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m., and I'll be there.
And why did you not show up when you were invited last week?
So ask Sami Dako whether the invitation got through to me, like if I understood. So you see, there are a number of things he said which are false. Look, let's even start. Number one, he said I had said that Kissi Agyebeng asked me or sought to limit me to 1 lawyer. Where did I say so? Just ask him to produce the tape. I don't want to say anything beyond that. Number 2, he says, I enjoyed this. You see, I enjoyed this. He should tell me where and when I told him that I enjoyed this media. You see, I even sought to hide the invitation because I thought it was unnecessary because the letter is very clear that I'm not under any investigation. I'm not under any investigation. They said they need more material. So that information that I'm going to OSP is something that I leaked. I mean, I didn't use, have you seen the invitation out in the media? So for Sami Daku to say I enjoyed this, I think he should produce further and better particulars. You see, earlier on, he was saying that when I said the Kissi Agyebeng is corrupt, I didn't use the word I'm deducing, I'm inferring. Just today, you see, he said what? I'm enjoying this. Then number two, he said that I'd said Kissi Agyebeng limited me to. You see, he didn't put guardrails in to show that he's not making categorical statements. So that's how speech is. That's just it. See, he will fall by his own sword. Now, let's go to the invitation. That tells the invitation. He says 15 calls. I'm bearing Sami Jemfi. This number, Evans, I'm talking to you on. This is a Zoom call. But, Jonathan, you have my number, the 024 number. You can apply. I'm giving you consent. Then they should mark. They should give you the OSP officer who called. They should give you that number. So that you go to MTN. Check whether there were any 15 calls. How? If you made 15 calls, there was no way I would not have returned that call as the most urgent one. Because 15 calls means that, hey, there's absolute danger. So stop everything. 15 calls, that's what it would have meant. So it's a palpable falsehood. Sami Daku should produce evidence that they called 15 times and I ignored. And like he said, you see, he even said that I responded to one of the calls and said, what? I'm in a meeting. You see? Meanwhile, earlier on, I had heard he said, what, 15 calls, I didn't pick up. But I see he said that I'm in a meeting. So if I'm in a meeting and yours is not that urgent, it means I will attend to it later on. And our next point is that, so if they thought it was really urgent, Evans, I'm telling you, Sami Daku and I are at least maybe acquaintances. We exchange a lot of WhatsApp on various matters concerning OSP. Yet when they needed me, they sent somebody with a strange number. So this number calls me, I'm in a meeting, as Sami Daku himself has said, I'm in a meeting. So I'll get back to you later. If after the meeting I forget and I'm not able to get back, based on the fact that Sami Daku and I exchange WhatsApp messages, etc., the most sensible thing would have been for him to send me a WhatsApp message, because I can tell you that if we do analysis of our WhatsApp messages, over 80%, I come back to Sami Daku in less than 1.5 hours. Over 80%. So common sense would have told him that, look, okay, this number we've used is a string number. So even when he's done with his meeting, chances that he will return this call will be less. So then why don't I send Martin the message? Why don't I send Martin the message? The same for Kissi Agyebeng. So why would you come? And you know, even that message, it was after he had come on air and said this things against me yesterday that I went to check on my phone. Then I saw a text message. It was God the man. I'm telling you truthfully that it was yesterday night after his message, the allegations that they had called 15 times and I didn't respond. That's when I said, no, let me check my phone before responding on Facebook. So I checked, and then I saw that there was a text message that the person said, I've called several times. Now, which kind of English language does Sami Daku speak that several is equal to 15? Which grammar? What grammar did Sami Daku learn that several calls is equal to 15? What kind of grammar is this? So, Evans, it tells you once again their incompetence. You, Sami Daku, you have my number. You've been dealing with me for years. If you are looking for me urgently, your office has used a strange line. You don't know that the most sensible thing to do is that you say, oh no, Martin knows my number. So give me the information. I would also send it to him. He never did. And that's the same thing they did and Ofuriata left. So you see that he's reinforcing their incompetence. Sami Daku, by this very interview, is reinforcing the very incompetence that they sat down and saw Ofuriata leave and couldn't blow the whistle to the Ghanaian people.
Martin, those are subject of the committee work, because one of the accusations you made is incompetence, etc. So I'll leave it for when you go before them. But let me ask you more substantively. You say tomorrow you would attend to the OSP. The fundamental question, and Sami had clarified this quite extensively on X, that the special prosecutor himself has, to use my own words, recused himself from this committee work because he himself didn't sign a letter. He's nowhere near the committee work, but others have suggested that the office itself cannot be a judge in his own cause. You still going to submit yourself to the process? are you satisfied with the Sammy's explanation that the Special Prosecutor asking Kissi Agyebeng has nothing to do with the process?
You see, strong man argument. Where did he hear me saying that Kissi Agyebeng came there? You see, where? That's all that I'll say. Where he should produce the tape. Me, he should just produce the tape. I don't need any further answer on that.
But you're happy to work with the committee. That day.
I don't know the committee, so when I get there, we'll find out who is there.
Are you
I don't know who. The letter doesn't indicate.
But you will cooperate with the office.
Oh, definitely that one. I'd give him my word that as a citizen, if the committee is right, why not? I'm sure of what I'm saying. I'll give them what I have. Let's be very clear. I'm not the subject of any investigations. No, they say they just need further and better particulars of what I've said. They are not investigating me. No. So why would I shy away? No, we want to build strong public institutions. So if they need further information, why not? Why would I be running away? There's no case against me. It's what I've said that they say, look, bring us further information. Let's see what we can do. Many people have said, no, they shouldn't do the investigations, etc., because I've accused them, etc. But I just looked at it and said, well, they say they just need further and better particulars. That's why I just said, okay, look, I'll go there. Ordinarily, we should be going to the Attorney General because it's only the Attorney General the Constitution knows. OSP does this work, prosecution, etc., subject to the authorization of the Attorney General. OSP is not known to the Constitution. It's the Attorney General's power. So, properly speaking, we should be going to their boss, the Attorney General. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Martin. And I still have Sammy on the line. Sammy, if you have any response to that, fine. If not, I want to go to the substantive matter of what the IMF had said today about the anti-corruption institutions.
Yes, Evans, I'm so happy you said you have to move on to the substantive issue. Just to help with this, the SP does not take part in investigations, just to help you and maybe your listeners. So it's a whole office. The SP is the head. So just like when police or EUCU or National does its work and submit it to the AG, it's the same thing. The office has divisions. They work, and then the final one will be submitted to the SP to review, especially if it has to go for prosecution. So just to clarify that, so we can move on because they are.
And yes, to that point though, and our research team looked to that document that was published by the IMF. The head of the research team is here with me. Kofi, very quickly, what did you find in this document published by the IMF? What document is it, by the way?
Well, so this is the governance diagnostic report by the IMF published this month, and it says a number of things about not just the OSP, but other, corruption, agencies that are fighting corruption. And in fact, on the OSP, this is what the report said, and quote, it says that limited amount of data relevant to performance is provided on the OSP's website, but it goes ahead to say that it is not clear from the cases cited on the website the proportion of cases which are initially considered for investigation and the proportion of these cases which are proceeded to investigation and the proportion of the cases that which proceed to prosecution. So in fact, the OSP, according to the IMF, has that list on their website talking about the number of cases that they are following. But in terms of update, they say that, well, what you find on the IMF website, that the proportion of these cases which proceed to investigations are not properly, labeled. And in fact, if you go down to the part where the fund speaks about the OSP's capacity to determine at what point to go to court, it says that there is currently no clear and consistent policy in place at the Office of the Special Prosecutor which determines when a case meets the legal evidential burdens for proceeding to charge and assessing whether it is clear or is likely to result in convictions. It says in such a policy, I said that such a policy would ensure consistency of decision making and that cases are only sent to court when they are evidentially ready. And it goes ahead to say that the OSP at the moment is not able to chase or to go after bigwigs who are currently in office. They only go after bigwigs who have left office. But those who are currently in office, it's difficult for the Office of the Special Prosecutor to go ahead and chase them when they are corruption-related, allegations.
What about the work that the OSP itself has said that they've been doing over the last few years, the monies they've saved, those they managed to retrieve. Did the IMF indicate any strong points, strengths of the OSP?
Well, the strong point that the diagnostic report makes about the OSP is the fact that if you look at the personnel in terms of having the legal power to go ahead with investigation, they have that. But they go ahead to say that the OSP lacks, dedicated personnel and equipment. It goes ahead to say that the office has adequate and legal powers to gather intelligence, investigate, and prosecute corruption-related, or criminal-related issues, but lacks sufficient resources. And the key word here, according to the IMF, is that although they have that legal acumen, they lack that sufficient resources to go ahead and do some of this things, like saving the state, amount of money that are, related to corruption, allegations.
Sami, what's your response to this? Hello, Sami Dako.
Yes.
What's your response?
I can hear you. So
right,
let's understand this report. So this report is actually based on the 2023 findings that the IMF did. So the 2025, as you have seen, is the full and final report. So if you look at a lot of the things the IMF have said, it has to do with the beginnings of the OSP, which is 2023. Remember that in 2023, the OSP was operating with less than 22 staff. And so when the IMF came there, we had to explain it to them. And remember that we only employ staff, full staff, in September 2023. And they were confirmed in 2024. So the IMF, when it underscores that, is also very clear, because the OSP was in its infant stages. So every statistics you are seeing is because it was in its infant stages. And then secondly, if you look at when they talk about in terms of logistics and all that, at that time, the OSP didn't have a lot of logistics. The situation is different now. And also, when you look at the IMF report and the cases they were highlighting, at that time, the OSP was also in its infant stages, and we have not done a lot more cases. But if you look currently, 33 high-profile persons standing trial, from Kenoforiata to all the people in SML, to NPA, to Northern Development Authority, to PPA. So this report does not capture all the progress that have been made in the last 2 years, because the initial data that they collected from us was purely based on the early part of the establishment of the office. So it is not surprising that Ghanaians will see that. So you need to also put it in the right perspective. But in this same report, what is interesting is that many of you in the media are not even talking about the other agencies. For us, it's good news for us, because then you see the OSP as the agency that, as the IMF themselves said, is more poised to fight corruption in Ghana than any other agency. So we are very happy about it. But you notice that they had damning reports on Yoko, they had damning reports on the Attorney General, and also on Shraj. But I noticed that has not gained any traction. But the traction is on OSP, because at the moment OSP is in the spotlight, and so it's understandable that media will focus on it. But let's understand this, Ghanaians, that the data was based on 2023, when OSP was in its infant stages, because we have moved on. For instance, now the OSP is ready with its service manual. The OSP is working on its 5-year development plan. And if you even take the other agencies, look at the UCO, had been there for almost 30 years, but it's just in the last 5 years that they even had their 5-year development plan, as well as operational code and all that. And these are matters that Kissi Agyebeng has been working on since 2023 till date. Some of them are being funded by GIZ, some of them by other donors and all that. If you look at the office itself, it's now that the European Union has paid fully for our forensic lab, as well as interview rooms and all that. So the office has been work in progress. Some people think that the office is set up and everything is okay, and that they should be able to deliver and all that. So once we are doing cases, we are also internally working on our processes and procedures, and those things involve money, they involve time, they involve consultation, consultancy, and that the office has been doing. So we are happy that we are seen to be the highlight of the IMF report, and we're also happy that the IMF itself acknowledges that the OSP is the best place to fight corruption in Ghana.
And Sami, very quickly, I see in the report they give us some clarity when it comes to the timelines for the collection of the data. Yes, you're right. The initial data was collected in 2023, but they also say that they also collected data in, quote, post-mission exchanges with the authorities in 2024, which is just last year.
Yes. So you are right. They may have collected data and all that, but we will even meet the IMF, I think, first part of December. We already have received the invitation. They will come and visit us. And when they come, they will see all the progress that have been made from the early assessment that they've made. But the point to be made is that these findings were based on 2023 when OSP under Kissi Agyebeng was in its infant stages.
Yeah, in the interest of time, though, on a substantive matter, do you now then have what they then described as a no clear and consistent policy in place at the OSP, which determines when a case meets a legal and evidential burdens? Do you now have that policy in place?
Yes, I told you that the OSP has worked on its service manual. These are not things that you work on in 1 year or two. Sometimes it takes a while, and we do it together with development partners and all that. And all these things are being done. As I told you, it's not just that. We are even done with our 5-year development plan. There are certain internal procedures that have all been done. Remember, the act establishing the office itself also gives us operational manuals and how we should go about things. So some of the things they said, we may clarify to them when they meet us again, especially when it comes to how cases are taken and all that. The USP has policies for all that, and we are able to work. So, for instance, we have about 3 ways in which somebody can submit a complaint. You can do that by calling a toll-free line, or you can do that by coming to our office directly, or you can do that by going to our website and submit report even anonymously. And all these things will be aggregated and to go through a certain process before finally a determination is made whether it falls under our jurisdiction. And this is why yesterday I noticed that there's something attributed to me making rounds. I was explaining this particular matter that people have even come to us asking us to investigate their pastors for them, and we had to eventually go back to them and tell them that it does not fall under the jurisdiction of the
OSP. Sami, thank you very much. I'm grateful that you could join us on this. Sami Dako there, he speaks for the OSP. He's a director, strategy, research, and communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Right after business, the government gives its assurance yet of ending the 2 long years to ratify Ghana's first lithium project before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
I don't see any stumbling block unless something unforeseen happens. I don't see why we should not be able to.
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it to be
ratified.
It to be ratified. Yeah, it to be ratified. If the process are currently ongoing and Parliament has its own timetable and schedule, as far as I know, there is no major stumbling block.
Details of that, if you live in the area affected, you want to wait and listen to that full interaction I had with the government chief spokesperson on that particular subject right after George is done with business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans. And coming up, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiamen says the economy has been decisively turned around based on the current economic data. Ghana expected to make additional revenue of $60 million on cocoa exports after US reversed 15% tariffs on our exports to that country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal. You're welcome back to business on Newsnight. Now, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiamen is insisting that the economy has decisively been turned around. Now, this is based on current economic data as well as favorable outlook numbers. The governor of the Bank of Ghana disclosed this at the opening of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Accra today. He has been given more reasons to support his claim.
The data before us is quite revealing. It paints a very different picture from where Ghana stood barely a year ago. Inflation is not only back within the target band, it has eased faster than we anticipated. The exchange rate has remained broadly stable, and the external buffers that we have is quite strong. And perhaps most encouraging, the real sector is showing signs of sustained revival. The staff briefing that we have confirms that the initial conditions for this meeting are the strongest we have had in several years.
And that is the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, Ghana is expected to make additional revenue of some $60 million on the country's cocoa exports to the U.S. market. Now, this was after the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto, announced that the U.S. government has lifted 15% tariffs on cocoa exports and other agricultural commodities to the country. According to the minister, the reversal took effect on November 13, 2025. To other stories, economist Professor Peter Korte is projecting some marginal reduction in the policy rate due to the recent inflation developments. Inflation has dropped to about 8% for the month of October, while policy rate currently stands at 21.5%. The Monetary Policy Committee today actually began its regular meetings to review developments in the economy. Professor Peter Korte maintains that other variables should impact this marginal reduction.
Other factors determine interest rate. For instance, the default rate. I mean, if you look at the default rate currently over 20%, if you take depositors' funds and you on-lend, you certainly have to repay the depositors, and therefore, if people default at such a high rate, that becomes a problem. So let's put in things that will ensure that when people borrow, they can invest and be profitable and are able to repay. Of course, the courts can also help us when we're able to prosecute such defaulters at a faster rate.
And Professor Peter Korte is an economist. Now, with travel prices becoming increasingly unpredictable, Adansi Travels has introduced its Smart Travel Plan for 2026. The package is designed to help Ghanaians secure early savings and protect themselves from fluctuating exchange rates. Chief Executive of Adansi Travel and Tours, Gideon Asari, has been speaking to Joy Business after the launch of the product.
Every day at the many Ghanaians really want to travel, but they get scared with the high rising costs, the exchange rate fluctuations, and the fact that sometimes planning the trip becomes a little bit pressure on them. We launched this initiative, which is a payment initiative that allows you to lock your travel plan early. And with a travel plan, you can save up to 17% discount on your travel. You also are protected by the exchange rate, because even though you pay in cedis, the exchange rate fluctuation will not affect you if you enroll yourself on a travel plan.
Chief Executive of Adansi Travels, Gideon Asari, now Shell, in partnership with Vivo Ghana, has unveiled its latest innovation in its new Shell Fuel Saver product, specially formulated to clean and protect engines for optimal performance. The launch event brought together key industry players, customers, and technical experts. The brand reaffirmed its commitment to delivering high-quality fuel to motorists. Now, speaking to Joy Business Managing Director of Vivo Ghana, Christian Leai highlighted the motivation behind the product.
Since 2007, we've been launching new product. It was then the V-Power and followed with many other developments. But today, we are unveiling the best ever fuel that was developed by Shell. So this is the new and improved Shell fuels. So there are three fuels, right? So one of them is the V-Power. So it's the best ever performance fuel so far. And it's unmatched in the Ghanaian market and also in the world. So it gives you 100% protection.
Christian Lai is the managing director of Vivo Ghana. And now the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has denied that there is a conspiracy to pay out more than $700 million of state funds to back the plan to take over assets of Springfield. In the statement issued this evening, GNPC says that there is no such conspiracy in terms of trying to move and buy the assets based on some $700 million that actually has not advised government to go ahead to do that. We'll be getting you more details on this statement later in our bulletins. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Daniel, what's happened, sports?
Yeah, the Ghana Football Association's disciplinary committee has charged Asante Kotoko for an insightful comment on social media. The Porcupine Warriors posted a comment on their social media platform suggesting the match officials got their decision wrong after a penalty was awarded to Samatex in their Ghana Premier League match yesterday. The GFA said in a statement, the statement posed a risk of violence against match officials. The Kumasi-based club has until Wednesday to respond to the charges. Now, Kotoko ended up drawing that game goalless, their third draw in their last 4 games, leading to questions about their approach to games away from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Head coach Abdul Karim Zito says his side enter every game with the objective to win.
I didn't come here to defend it. I come here to win. It is only when you look at the situations that you apply both. Me, I never go to a club to go and defend. Even when I didn't went to Africa, I never go to defend. I play. I'll play. I'll play. But when I read the game and I see you are on top and I have to manage myself, you understand me? But this one was a balanced game.
You heard Asante Kotoko head coach Abdul Karim Zito bring an end to sports. Back to you, Vance.
Thank you very, Daniel. Now, tonight, government has given its strongest assurance yet that the 2-year wait to ratify the Ewoya Lithium project will finally end, assuring chiefs and residents that Parliament will approve the deal before rising for the Christmas break. For 2 years, lives have been on pause, farmers unable to expand their fields, the family stuck in half-built homes and resettlement plans frozen. Global lithium prices have crashed, and without swift parliamentary action, the project risks losing its economic viability. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachifosu insists the deal will be secured by the end of 2025. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, Emmanuel Agyebeng reports on how the delay is choking the local economy and stalling 2,700 indirect jobs.
Every day at the Mankessim runabout, Abena Annan runs for survival. She chases cars with bags of fantikinki, hoping someone inside will roll down a window with a few CDs to spare.
Oh, I didn't for sure because in Juma Bebre, but work as an eye bebre.
There are many graduates here without jobs. Some completed school 4 or 5 years ago and still haven't found work. Some fall into bad company and turn to stealing or other things. But when the lithium project starts, we will all be more comfortable because we'll have jobs to do.
Abena is not searching for a job in the mine. She's searching for everything the mine brings with it. Workers, traffic, and demand. The lifeblood of informal businesses.
The direct benefits to someone like me who hawks in traffic is that some of the lithium project workers will need food and they will come and buy my fanti kinky. When that happens, my business will grow.
But for 2 years since the lease was signed, Parliament has still not ratified the project. And in communities like Mankessim, the delay is choking the local economy before it even begins. For drivers like Gideon, when Atlantic Lithium began prospecting, his taxi rarely rested. Today, he's been loading for over an hour, and still no one is coming.
It was helping the youth and we the drivers as well. So they will come, take us to our place, take us to this place. Sometimes you be at the station for about 30 minutes, 1 hour. Just look at right now, I'm loading. Nobody is in.
The Ewoya Lithium project was expected to anchor at least 2,700 indirect jobs. But the delay in parliamentary approval has left those jobs suspended.
Well, we can now hear from government spokesperson Felix Kwachifosu, who assures the chiefs and residents of the affected communities that the deal will be passed by the end of 2025 before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
Initial projections that were made under the NPP, which informed that particular agreement, were based on some projections on the world market price of lithium. So every investor that is going to put some money into a project, we'll look at how much would accrue. It is standard, normal, fair practice. Now the price of lithium has fallen significantly over the period. So the same projections cannot hold. It affects the ability of the investors to raise the needed resources to be able to invest in the project. So if the investor is going to come, we definitely need to do something about the conditions. So we have simply said that instead of the 10% royalty, let's make it 5%, because the amount of money that will be coming in will not be enough to justify the investment if you maintain it at this. I think it is fair, it is proper, and it's the right thing to do. There are some of the varied conditions that are dependent on what happens in future. So, for instance, there's some taxation element that has been deferred pending an improvement in the world market price of lithium. Once the market price begins to increase, those commitments will be met, and some other things that have been put in there. So the NPP, as usual, has attempted to distort this and create the impression that we have gone back on some word. But nothing of the sort has happened. It is the reality of the situation, which requires some tweaking of the agreement in order that the positive aspect of the project is realized, because it will benefit the people of Mankessim and its surrounding areas. It will benefit the Ghanaian economy as a whole. And that is what we remain committed to.
Are you confident that it will be ratified before Parliament rises?
I believe so. I believe it will be ratified, along with other bills that are pending before Parliament.
So you said that you had some representation. I believe the chiefs had.
Oh yes, I mean, on a daily basis I receive for instance, on my of the Abura traditional area constantly engages me on the matter. There's another chief at Yamransa who constantly engages me on the matter. Indeed, I've had visitations from them to this very office.
Oh, they've come?
Absolutely, to highlight the importance of that project to them.
So what do you tell them now?
Oh, I think that...
What do you say to them?
Listen, government is committed. Government is committed.
So for all those chiefs who have been coming here and visiting you, you can tell them that you're confident that before Parliament rises in December...
Yes, I don't see any stumbling block. Unless something unforeseen happens. I don't see why we should not be able to...
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it will be
ratified.
It will be ratified. Yeah, it will be ratified.
And that's it for News Night tonight. My name is Vitus Azeem. Enjoy the rest of your evening.